Workshop series with Amanda Hall Psychic here on the Gold Coast in Australia. We have this little segment every week for about 15 or 20 minutes. I'm so pleased you could join us today. Today we're going to be talking about the amazing energy of Aries. Aries being the first sign of the zodiac. So I'd like to welcome everybody here. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Amanda Hall Psychic. I've been in the psychic industry here in Australia for well over 40 years, so I'm part of the furniture here down under. I've been inducted into the Psychic Hall of Fame back in 2013 here in Australia, and I've also won for the fourth year in a row Psychic of the Year, voted by the general public. So it's a real honour, and I thank everybody that voted for me. So without sort of wasting too much time, I'd like to sort of get stuck into what we're here to talk about today. Each week I bring a little 15-20 minute free workshop here on Facebook Live directly after my weekly show out of Washington in the US of A called the Amanda Hall Psychic Show on A1R Psychic Radio on Moonstruck TV, which is also here on Facebook Live at 12 noon Australian Eastern Standard Time here in Australia. So directly behind that show, then we move into our little mini workshop series here. And I try and keep the shows sort of similar but separate so that you've got a double bang for your free buck of what information that I'm sharing with you from my point of view as a psychic astrologer with many, many years experience. I'm not here to do free readings in this segment, so I will make that very clear. This is an educational workshop segment. Each week we will focus on a different topic. Yes, it will incorporate one of my soy candles from my range as part of the workshop, but it's not just a workshop on how to burn a candle. It's how to bring changes into your life to understand things and also help educate you on astrology and psychic areas in your life and make them part of your mainstream everyday life. So I would like to welcome each and every one of you here today for joining us here today, or if you're watching us on the replay when, you know, binge watching, catching up on our other station, that's fantastic too, because not all of us have time in the middle of the day on a Wednesday afternoon to tune in. I appreciate that. So for those of you that want to go back and watch some of my previous workshops or some of my previous shows on A1R Psychic Radio, you will find a link here on the little blurb that I've put up with the workshop that gives you a link directly to a page that I've set up so that you can just go back and watch those. There's nothing else on that particular page. It's just purely the workshops and my previous shows on A1R Psychic Radio, so that you've got them all in one nice little neat tidy package there for you to binge on when you feel that you have the time or you just want to go back and recap on something that we've said. So I will not be directly sort of shouting out and saying welcome to this one and that one, because I'm busy focusing on the information I'm going to give you. I will endeavour sometime over the next 24 hours to personally answer any little questions or say hello or wave to you on Facebook. So please feel free to leave a little message there. I love to get them. And also, if there's any particular topic or any particular subject that you would like me to cover in these workshops, I'd be happy to try and weave it into one of the workshops in the coming weeks. So you can always private message me, and I'm happy to do that. For those of you that may want a more detailed and in-depth reading than or want further information, you can always head to my website, which is www.amandahallpsychic.com.au. And don't forget, when you're at the checkout in the coupon box, type in the word Facebook in capital letters and you'll receive a little discount for being loyal to the show. So on to the show without any further ado. What is the sign of Aries? And I hear a lot of people say, look, I know a lot of Aries people and some of them I like and some of them I don't like. Well, let's just have a little recap of who Aries is and why are they so important. Aries is actually the very, very first sign of the zodiac. So the Aries sign is about me first. It's about me, and I. And they're unashamedly proud of that. And so they should be, because they're the first people, if you want to look at it, the first ones born in the zodiac come under the sign of Aries. So it's a fire sign. It's a sign that is a dynamic sort of sign, because it is me first. It's sort of, it motivates everybody to get up off their chair. The Aries energy is about me first, is about fire sign. It's about action. It's about direction. It's about starting things. It's about beginnings. It's about new opportunities, new thought bubbles, anything that's new. It's like, good, let's get the enthusiasm, rally the troops, and let's go. I'm going to be the leader. I'm going to be the one that you're all going to follow. And that's why Aries people sometimes can seem arrogant and rude and full of their own importance and so full of their own self-importance, you know, that you sort of think, gee, they're a little bit smug. No, they're not meaning to be that way. What they're showing you is they're into their focused part of their energy, that they're very focused on the task at hand or what they're hoping to achieve. And I've got somebody tickling my chin from above, probably all the Aries that are up above are sort of saying, yeah, well, just, you know, keep it up. That they really want to motivate you. They really want you to sort of see the determination and how things can be achieved when you focus on things. They're great motivators. They're great people that sort of go on and change the world by different thoughts and showing you the action of how to do it. And once they've got the mass hysteria and everything's going, they leave it behind for someone else to do the tidying up bit and the finishing off. They're on to the next horizon. They're on to the next challenge. So it is a very active sign. It's sometimes seen as a very masculine sign too, not so much a feminine sign. And I suppose that's pretty fair enough. It is a sign where, you know, people do become extremely determined and sometimes I think become a little bit selfish too. And, you know, a lot of times Aries people are seen to have little or no emotion unless it directly affects them. It's like, how does this affect me? When I understand that and I come to terms with how it affects me, well, then I might only just say might look at how it affects you, because after all, I'm the most important person in the universe and I'll unashamedly tell you that. But they can be very gentle and very caring. And then the opposite side of Aries is Libra, where they can go to the opposite extreme, where they do so much for everybody that they seem to overcompensate in their kindness or trying to find balance or helping someone. You think, that's not like them. They're not usually that way. You know, why are they going to the opposite extreme? Well, it's sometimes when things get out of balance, we can bring in that opposite sign and we don't really focus on, okay, it's good to bring in our alter ego or our opposite sign, but we must also look at moderation with that. We don't take the scales and tip them up that way from that way. You know, there needs to be sort of a leveling sort of balance coming in with the scales. So what would you do if you fell in love with an Aries? Well, if you fall in love with an Aries, be prepared for they'll always come first. You'll always come second. Even though they tell you you're the center of their universe and you come first, you know that you'll always come second. It also means that they will always be the sort of person that very rarely can sit still. They've always got to be having a new adventure or a new project or a new something to be continually thinking about, working towards. If they're not doing that, they become very bored. Now, a bored Aries is a dangerous Aries. And the reasons why I say that, when you get a bored Aries on your hands, that's when they get up to mischief. That's when they start to try and create things, create drama, create change, create something happening because they're bored. They've got nothing to put that boundless energy into. If you've got an Aries child, might I suggest you keep them incredibly busy. And I'm not saying busy in front of the computer games or in front of the telly. I mean in physical activity. Wear them out, buy them a trampoline, take them for a walk, take them for a swim, buy them a push bike, a scooter, a football, a tennis racket, whatever. Keep them very, very busy. Keep them physically busy so that at the end of the day, they're worn out. They're absolutely too tired to misbehave at the dinner table or to give you a mouthful of lip, because that boundless energy has been used up in a positive way. If you don't use it up in a positive way, and I'll use a child as an example, and you put an Aries child in front of a device or a screen all day, days in, day out, over a long period of time, you will find that child will become destructive. You will find that child will become deceitful. They'll lie to you. They'll try and find ways of game playing to get more screen time or to manipulate you because it's a game to them, because they're bored. They're sick of what they're doing. They're sick of playing Pac-Man or watching, you know, Bananas in Pajamas or whatever the case may be. So they'll create something to kill the boredom. So as they get older, that boredom becomes more dangerous, if you want to put it that way, that because they need to use up this energy. This is why I believe gyms were invented. I think they were invented for Aries people that didn't have time to get out and use up this expendable energy that they've got every day because of their busy working life, but they could go to the gym and spend 15 minutes, half an hour, take it out in the machines and go home, and then they're almost, we've soothed the savage beast. They're you know, almost human to walk through the door and be with the family. So that's enough of rubbishing Aries. I mean, I really love Aries. I've got lots of Aries friends, and they're some of the most motivating people in the world. And it's a really wonderful sign, because, you know, they do make us get up off the couch and make us get motivated and work through our issues. And sometimes I think we need that bluntness or that fiery sort of, no, hang on a minute, you're looking at that wrong. And then they get up and walk out the door after they've made that statement. They don't want to have a conversation about it. They've made the statement, you know, you do something about it. And it's that bluntness that I think that I really sort of resonate with, because you know where you stand with an Aries. If they don't like you, you'll know about it. You know, it's sort of one of those things. They're the sort of people, when they get angry, they've got to explode. They've got to be fiery and outspoken and open their mouth and it all comes out like a fire-breathing dragon. And then they're calm. Then they're right. They got it off their chest. It's come out of their head. They're fine. So Aries energy rules things like the top of the head, the upper teeth upwards, and the right eye. Now, these are the weaknesses, or the health areas that are the weakness area for Aries. So if you know an Aries and they're saying to you, gee, I've been getting a lot of headaches lately, your first question to them should be, are you bored? Number two, what is it you're not dealing with on an emotional level that's causing you to have a headache? And that's one of the important things that I see time and time and time again about Aries people. The other thing is too, with Aries people, they're very prone to fevers. It's their way of releasing their final release. You know, when people talk about, oh, you've got to release and you've got to let go and you've got to let go of all your negativity and the hurt and the pain and the whatever else. People say, yeah, I've done that. I'm a firm believer it must come out in the physical. So the physical for an Aries to release something like that is either a headache, a toothache, grinding their teeth in their sleep, or getting a fever. That's their way of releasing. So we will now go on to the Aries candle that you would work with if you were an Aries, or you're trying to bring in some Aries energy into your life. You would work with my fire sign candle. Now, what this will do for you is that you would write your intentions on a piece of paper, say something that you would hope to achieve in the next 2 weeks, something that you would hope to achieve in the next 6 months, and something that's a bit longer range. You would read it out aloud. You would, as you go to light the candle, then you pop it underneath the candle. You're putting the candle on a saucer or a coaster, never directly on the furniture, because the glass container itself gets hot. The soy wax doesn't, and I wouldn't like you to mark your furniture. You need to burn your candle for about 15 minutes a day, up to 2 hours. I would suggest 7 days with something like this. You can burn it longer if you want to. But 7 days would be enough to sort of instigate if you were hoping to start off a new business, or you're trying to get some new ideas, or you feel a little bit stuck in your life and you want to move something, you know, want to move that negative energy along. This is the perfect candle for that. So with my extra large candles, I've noticed on the website of the candle supplying company the other day, they state it burns up to 60 hours. I've had anything up to 100 hours with my candles. So I must be just doing something right, that, you know, I don't put them under fans and under air conditioners and keep them out of drafts and keep the wicks quite short. So they recommend 60 hours. I say up to 100 hours. So for those of you that might have only a small space or are traveling, we have our little mini travel kit here. We have our gift pack, which is 3 15-hour burning candles. That they're small. You can pop them in your handbag, put them in your suitcase, or they're just a small candle that you can put in a very confined workspace. And you can choose 3 candles of your choice, or you can have 3 all the same. It's entirely up to you. I've chosen here today the 3 fire sign candles, which go for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So for those of you that want to understand a little bit more about astrology than what you do, I have written a coffee table style book called Simply Astrology that you can get on my website. It's at reduced cost at the moment. And also don't forget, when you're at the coupon box, type in the word Facebook in capital letters and you'll be able to get an extra special discount there too. You'll also be able to buy the candles at a reduced cost when you type in Facebook at the checkout as well. We do offer free postage here in Australia for our overseas customers. We have a flat fee. So, you know, that makes it a little bit more enticing. If there's a few things that you want, save up and buy them all in one go, and then you get that flat fee shipping overseas. That's the best that we can do. It was too cost prohibitive for us to offer free shipping to our overseas friends. I'm sorry that we haven't been able to do that. If and when things change, we'll keep you abreast of that. For those of you that might want to have a private reading with me, again, head to my website, www.amandahallpsychic.com.au. On there you will find, on the main page, you'll have a little button that says book a reading. Go there and that'll give you your choices for a tarot reading with me. Again, we offer the discount with any service, any product on the Amanda Hall Psychic website by typing in the word Facebook. It's not exclusive to just the products that we've promoted here today on the mini workshop. It's for everything right across the board. It's a continual discount. It's not something that's only there for a week. It's got a lifetime expiry date at the moment until I decide to change my mind, which is not likely at this point. And I hope that you're enjoying what we're doing with these little mini workshops. What my aim is to help you understand a little bit more about psychic energy, about astrology, help you understand how to work with candles, to help you understand to make your life a little bit easier and a little bit more comfortable than what it has been. For those of you that have come into the session quite late, again, welcome. You can always watch it on the catch-up facility. I do have a page that's set up as a show and workshop page purely just with all the previous shows. You can binge watch there, you can catch up there. Details are in the little bit of a blurb that I put up there. So next week, on next week's mini workshop, we're going to be covering the full moon in Scorpio. So that will be a mini workshop working around the full moon, and in the energy that we're going into is the Scorpio energy. So I hope you can join us next week for that. For those of you that might like to watch my previous show before we do the Facebook Live here, that's on at 12 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time on Facebook over on A1R Psychic Radio. You'll find I do a weekly show out of Washington where we cover a Simply Tarot card of the week. We work with our soy candle of the week. We have our little mini astrology lesson, and we also have a glimpse around the universe. Plus we take 2 free readings on the show. That's handled by A1R Psychic Radio. So anyone from around the world can join in and get, has the opportunity to get a free reading with me there. So I look forward to seeing you all again next week, and I hope you have an absolutely awesome week wherever you are in this world of ours. Here on the Gold Coast, we're sort of all feeling a little bit tired and deflated and a little bit flat now that the Commonwealth Games is finished, but boy, we had a great party while everybody was here, and I know everybody's wrapping up their time here on the Gold Coast. The closing ceremony was on Sunday night, and people, some of the athletes have stayed on and partied on and looking at some of our beautiful scenery here, but for a lot of them, they've gone home and looking forward to a well-deserved rest after being, performing on the world stage and having such fun with us here on the Gold Coast. We love you all, we miss you all, and we're glad that you had such a great time with us here. And I'm going to be very bragging, and I'm going to say well done to the Australian team. We topped the medal tally, and it was nice to see that on home turf. Have a great week. Bye for now.